Good evening, Warband. It is your boy, Sir Yeetus. Welcome to episode 159 of Yeetus' Thoughts. This is something I've been thinking about for the past couple of days because we love to talk about, hey, men, they love to look at the world through rose colored glasses, right? That hopeful factor on, hey, maybe the world isn't as bad as it usually is, which unfortunately, when it comes to reality, life is unfair, life is sexist, life is dangerous, etc. Right? Doesn't mean you can't do anything about it, but from the objective point of view alone, the world isn't as kind as you think it is. But nobody really talks about how women have the rose-colored glasses of how much the world revolves around them, how much the world is so positive and so amazing, so this and that. And I will say that it depends on girl to girl because, once again, each of them, they do live in their own bubble unless they're in the group, right? If they're in the group, then that hive mind mentality kicks in. But at the end of the day, these situations, right, when it comes to these hopeful factors, when it comes to women, is completely different when it comes to men, right? And when it comes to the topic today, we're going to speak about it in three aspects, right? So, when it comes to women having the rose-colored glasses, me and Gray, because Gray is here right now, he's on standby. We're going to speak about how women in general view men in the West. The second is how they view themselves. And the third and final thing is how they view their place in society. And all three of them is literally in the perspective of rose colored glasses, right? And what I mean by that is men, we tend to get that hopeful factor once we fall in love, right? Once we get into our emotions, once we get them feelings, we get them feelings with the girl, yeah? Yeah, we definitely think that she's the one. She ain't like the rest of them. She's the unicorn. She's special. That's the only time a man will actually put on some rose-colored glasses, right? I'm talking about hypothetically, right, or metaphorically, where he will definitely try to look look. How do you say? He look for the best in a certain person, or he looks for the best in a certain situation. But when it comes to modern women, since they have the privilege to actually do um, bad behavior or bad decisions, and without being held accountable for it, I say, at least in my opinion, modern women, they have rose-colored glasses 24/7. 24/7, 365. Because especially in 2022, who is truly going to hold them accountable for the nonsense that they put themselves through, especially if it's anything illegal. I'm sure you guys saw my um saw the post I put up on my community tab. But that's for a different story. But at the end of the day, there's a there's just one main difference between men and women. Men, we look at rose-colored glasses when we believe we find the one. Okay, we believe she is different than the rest. Women, they have rose-colored glasses 24/7 solely because technically men, we gave them the luxury to even have that type of mindset in the first place, right? Because places in the West compared to the rest of the world, women, they have time to reflect and try to see the goodness in the world and try to see what they can do for society, try to go out there and LARP like men, and try to go out there and say, hey, oh, the future is female. But we'll see when the barbarian comes to the gate. You already know, gentlemen. You already know. But before we begin, hey, what's going on, Nixon? What's good? Hey, I enjoy your stream earlier today when it comes to Sneeko and Destiny, and I think Abba. from Abba and Preach. That was definitely a very good analysis that you did, breaking down the argument. I definitely that was a good stream to watch in the morning, right? Because I was definitely drinking my black coffee. Yes, I drink black coffee, gentlemen. I think black coffee is the highest concentration of caffeine that will hit your body very quickly compared to putting in creamers and sugar and all that stuff. But before I add Grey Ghost, if you want to support your boy Sir Yeetus, the link on top of the chat, Cash App, is the best possible way to donate because the money goes directly to me. But if you guys do not want to donate through Cash App, there's also Super Chat or Super Thanks. If you cannot donate at all, back, chill, crack open the cold one, and listen to the conversation because any donation is appreciated. There is no obligation or peer pressure, wherever the fuck it is. So, all right, let me go ahead and bring in Gray.
Good evening.
What's going on, man?
Experimenting with a little more of this AI generated art stuff, so working on getting a little bit extra stuff together for that,
It's
and might get.
use.
Sorry.
Oh, so that's what you've been doing.
Yeah, I've been grinding away at that, and ideally after this stream I'll get the Golden Lie recorded and then start the production for that. Should have that by the end of the week, depending on how all the software pans together.
Oh my god, is there a lag again between me and you, where you don't hear me till a few seconds later?
Yeah, the response seems to be pretty fast right now.
Okay, just making sure, because I'm like, damn, this is gonna be an interesting stream. So based on what you heard me explain about, the comparisons between men with rose-colored glasses and women's rose-colored glasses, what is your summary when it comes to that? Before we get into the details.
Well, I think the biggest issue is that men don't give women bad news. Like, they just don't, and women police this and enforce this. Like, have you ever heard someone say, well, has anyone ever chastised you for upsetting a man emotionally?
Upsetting a man emotionally? No, because we're taught to be upfront and direct when it comes to if you have an issue with a certain person, whether it's like a topic or whatever. I mean, a certain
has anyone ever chastised you for upsetting a woman?
Oh, of course, because there's always miscommunication.
When is it ever? Right? When have you ever actually found that it's a good time to give a woman bad news?
Well, she's being a dumbass.
No, not chastising her for what she's doing wrong, but just give her bad news.
Wait, what? Okay, so what do you mean by bad news? Like, you talking about what she's done, what's happening to her? What do you mean?
No, like reality itself.
Oh, like nukes are going to be flying in the next.
For example, the past couple decades of Alzheimer's research was based on absolute fraud, and so it's completely invalid. And our understanding of Alzheimer's needs to be completely uprooted from the ground.
Oh, you already know they won't give a fuck about that,
unless maybe they know or have Alzheimer's themselves.
Okay, if they know somebody, sure, but if they have it themselves, I doubt they'll even comprehend what's going on.
Yeah, no, like that's the thing. If they know someone, like say they work like as a part-time caregiver for someone who's got Alzheimer's,
right?
Is there ever an appropriate time to tell them that the past couple decades of Alzheimer understanding was based on fraud.
Nope, there is no good time, but we tell them anyway.
No, that's the thing. Like, would anyone ever thank you for telling them? Would they thank you for telling them? Would they even acknowledge or want to believe it? They're not told this kind of stuff. That's the point I'm getting at. Men just don't do it. There's nothing that they don't like. Men don't benefit from it. And at best, the women might benefit from it, but mostly they'll just ignore it or they'll get so upset over it. And then the focus will be on, oh, you made the woman upset. That makes you a bad man. Why couldn't you just leave her in a royal fantasy world? Why did you need to tell her that? And that just magnifies day after day, item after item, subject after subject, until, yeah, they live in a perennial fantasy world to the point that the only time they ever actually get bad news is when it directly affects them, or they purposefully seek it out, such as watching it on television.
I definitely see what you're saying, but I'm definitely the outlier. Unless it involves somebody's death, I'm gonna tell you up front, and I really don't give a fuck how you feel. If a woman's if somebody's death is somebody that's like is a relative to the woman or is a friend to the woman, then I'll be more sensitive about it. Anything else, I'm really I don't give a fuck. So I'm definitely the outlier, right?
Yeah, I've
So
just
that's
gotten used to them not caring that and getting no benefit from it, that it's just not worth it.
like, yeah, you got no legs, so yeah, you're gonna have to ride around in a wheelchair for the rest of your life.
Okay, it's not that kind. For fuck's sake, it's not that kind of
Hey,
bad
I'm just saying.
news.
This is,
That's
yeah,
something that directly affects them. You're asking like why they have rose-colored glasses about the world. I'm explaining they have rose-colored glasses about everything, not just because they're not directly held accountable for shit, but because all the fucking ugly details about the world are not passed on to them.
then I definitely know what you're saying. Then, okay, yeah, yeah, women in general in the West, and in my opinion, even around the world, they definitely don't like having bad news, right? Because bad news means bad things are coming their way, and it's going to affect them personally. But in the Western world today, it's gotten so comfortable to the point where even there was bad news to the point where World War III is about to fucking go off, right? Nukes and shit. They really still believe everything is all Gucci, everything's fine. Even if you tell them, they won't be taken seriously. That's how far they've gone into their delusions in the West when it comes to Western women. That's how far it's gotten. They really truly believe that when it comes to the West, everything's Gucci, everything's fine, everything's perfect because women run the world, women are the future. That's literally the mindset at this point, which I'm going to be laughing my ass off when recession hits full swing. Guys, you really think the recession hit full swing yet? Oh, you guys have seen nothing yet.
Yeah, no, like I'm still employed. Like the recession has not hit full swing.
I say at least give it a year and a half or 2 years. There, you guys will. We might as well be in the depression 2.0.
Yeah, like the stock market has not. I haven't seen the stock market collapse. When all these guys who had all their investments in stocks, like when they start to panic, when they're losing their shirts, when I'm seeing some stuff for sale, like people trying to offload shit. But until I see cars being sold for far below market value, yeah, we're not there yet.
Yeah, I definitely agree when it comes to that aspect. And gentlemen, once again, I say it over and 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 over again. Women in general, especially modern women, they're not gonna learn until it's too late, right? Like the catastrophes that happened in the past, was messed up, right? Like the Depression, World War One, World War Two. Hell, we can go even farther than that when it comes to the Spanish flu and all the other stuff. Women were able to have, how do you say? It's a lot easier for women back in the day to go ahead and get a man because the man doesn't even know who she is or what her past is all about. Or they didn't really truly understand the female nature, right? Because they're probably young, right? 22, 25 years old. They don't, back then, gentlemen, they did not have the information that we have today, right? We are in the information age. We are the most informed group of people in human history. So when shit gets crazy, whether it's war, whether it's another plague, whatever it is, right? The economy collapses. You really think men are going to truly forget what happened, especially in the modern world, like in the West? You truly believe that men are going to be as nice? Even I truly believe even the simps, because once again, with majority of men, and I'm gonna include the simps in it, they know the deal. The simps are just trying to get laid. The simps trying to find the good in women. But as soon as shit hits the fan and they actually know about female nature, there's gonna be a lot less help than any other time in history if shit gets crazy. It's gonna because we know better more than any other man in history at this point, right? We learned from the old heads that didn't really help us really when it comes to dealing with women, right? Because they're simps themselves. And right now, we got people within our age group are teaching the younger generation, hey, maybe, hey, you know, things are getting out of control in society when it comes and when it comes to the dating market, when it comes to female privilege, when it comes to the marriage laws, divorce laws. Why do you think that your parents aren't together anymore? You really believe that your dad was the reason why he decided to leave? No, your mother ran him out of the house. And as a teenager or when you hit adulthood, you can easily tell a difference. Once you get his side of the story, this whole time you're like, holy shit, she was the problem the whole time. She brainwashed me the whole time. So what I'm trying to say is, gentlemen, at the end of the day, this group of men that we have right now, we aren't as gullible as the men in the past. So if things do get crazy, best believe, just like with Lion and MGTOW, there's gonna be a lot of men saying, "Give them nothing,
You know,
nothing."
honestly, I think that there's a much simpler reason.
What's up?
They're uglier.
What do you?
Compare photos of women from nowadays from photos of women 50, 60, 100 years ago. They're uglier.
Yeah, because makeup wasn't readily available and life was a lot
No,
more
they're
rough.
uglier today.
Oh, I thought you meant. Okay, I see what you're saying. Because today's women are definitely overweight like a motherfucker. Like holy shit. Like ew. I actually saved a video. I'm gonna make a video on it. There's a whole pool of nothing but women that are severely overweight. So, morbidly obese. My bad. I said severe. Morbidly obese. There's no skinny woman in sight. I will show you the video tomorrow, gentlemen. And when shit gets crazy, at least the initial first 6 months, you really think that a lot of men are really going to show them mercy? No. No, okay, first off, us gentlemen right now, we're not gonna even bother, right? Because we're gonna get our uh the backpack of our essentials and just head out, like we know better. It's over, right? If shit hits the fan. But I guarantee you, even the Sims would be like, yo, risking my life, I don't have the essentials anymore. It's not worth me trying to get laid by this fucking 300-pound man whale. Guaranteed. Even the Sims, well, most of them, will be able to say, you know what, this shit ain't worth it because I'm trying to survive too. I'm just saying, gentlemen, thanks to technology, men, we have a very long memory. Very long memory. It's not it's not gonna look good. It's been like once again, worst comes to worst, let's just say that, the economy collapsed. That's the worst possible, not the worst. That's the least possible scenario, right? Where the economy collapses and we hit the depression. You will see how quick the goalposts will be moving. It will move at the speed of light. They will willing to bust it wide open for uh three-fourths of a no, one-third of a fucking sandwich. They will literally bust it wide open so they can at least sleep in your tent for the night. Gentlemen, that's what I'm saying. When it comes to today's women, when it comes to feminism and all that stuff, it's all just delusion. It's all just rose-colored glasses. Please go to a third world country. Let me know if they have the same exact opinion as Western women. Please, please. I would love to hear that response. Because at the end of the day, gentlemen, women, they know in the back of their minds, they need men for survival. Okay. So here's the thing: women need men for reproduction and survival, men need women for reproduction. We don't need women for survival. Kevin Samuel said that. Once again, I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but that quote, he was completely on point. Besides trying to get the get the what's it called? The puniti, why else will we interact with women? Just like what Patrice O'Neill said, if for some reason they got into a horrible accident and they had to do surgery to remove their vajayjay, how else are they? How else? Why will we even bother with them at that point? Right? They don't have a vajayjay no more. They can't give us kids. And Patrice O'Neill, he did himself during that comedy special. These women, they literally classify themselves as a bunch of holes. That's literally what they did. It's like, oh, we can give him anal. Oh, we can give him a blowjob. Oh, we can give him a titty fuck. They know what it is, gentlemen. But because of the first world luxuries that we built for them, they really believe that they're all high and mighty. Even the average woman, I would say even the below average woman, has that ego of Queen Cleopatra. It's insane out there. But I wanted my rant for the summary, so let's go into the first part that I want to go in. Okay, so when I say rose-colored glasses, gentlemen, I'm talking about, I believe there's three sections. There could be more, but at the moment, three sections. When it comes to modern women, not modern, yeah, when it comes to modern women, they see men in a certain fashion. Don't you wonder why, for some reason, the very same women that never even want to get to know you, never even want to see if, any type of relationship can kick off, they just ignore you, or they're just like, oh, you're wasting my time. But at the same time, they blame men literally, like the average man, they'll blame 90% of the population for their experiences with Chad and Tyrone. And I told you right now, Chad and Tyrone is at least 10 to 20% of the population. So this is what I mean by rose-colored glasses. All these experiences, all these advices they want to give out, all these, oh yeah, men this, men that, men get pussy, men get all this, men get all that. Oh, men are trash, men are dogs. They're only saying that just based on the experiences that they had with Chad and Tyrone only. Think about it, gentlemen. Think about it. All the things that men was able to do according to her. Oh yeah, he's men able to get laid easily. Yeah, men always get money. Yeah, men. Oh, they are assholes. Men treat me like this. We treat me like that. You really believe that majority of men are like that? But what do you have to say about that, Gray?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, women, as we've established, they have no comprehension of the average man. Like, the only men that they actually remember are the ones who made a strong emotional impact. And those are the men that made them feel like absolute dog shit. Like, we've seen time and time again, like, they have no sense of gratitude. Like, the only time that they will show gratitude is when they're trying to extract additional favors. But there is no long lasting, hey, you were there for me when I was down, so I'll be there for you when you're down. So.
All right. So you pretty much get the gist what's going on, chat. I'm telling you right now. All the like don't see this is why I tell men, when it comes to these red pill channels that are popping up left and right, talking about, oh, I know a lot about men. I know everything about men. Men are this, men are that, men need to do this, men need to do that. Do you really believe that? Okay, first off, a woman does not know what a man goes through on a daily basis. Why? Because she's a woman. But let's just take that out of the picture. The fact that she only deals, right? Because hypergamous behavior, she only deals with the best possible option. And majority of women, they want to go for Chad and Tyrone, Pookie and Ray Ray, or any rich simp or whatever the fuck it is, right? Whoever is at the top of the mountain. And she wants to deal with that only. If you're not that person, she pretty much ignore your existence. Why will you take advice from somebody like that? Why? I'm just putting it out there, gentlemen. They really, when it comes to the rose-colored glasses, they have a very narrow mind of how men truly operate. Very narrow. Because they only go after the men that are truly winning. That's it. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So, before you want to ask a fish on how to catch the fish, maybe you should go to the fisherman that actually deals with the fish and give you the tools and give you the knowledge to catch that fish. All right, you really think a fish is going to tell you on how to catch it? Come on, bro. Come on.
But I think it kind of goes the other way as well, because the main reason why men will listen to women is because they think, oh, well, if I asked a man, what do I need to do to be attractive to you? He'll tell me. Because men will. Like, we'll be very upfront and clear about what we want from women and how they can appeal to us.
I see what you're saying. And I'm going to do the switcheroo, right? Because I'm sure I have one or two women watching the channel right now. Oh, but how do men know how women feel, how women operate, how women do this, women do that? See, you need to understand, men, we are the hunters, we are the pursuers, right? We have to go out there and actually catch some type of companionship or some type of date or wherever it is. So, if that's the case, since majority of men have to pursue, what do men do? We do our research. We see the pros and cons. We see the flaws. We see the benefits. Do you really believe that women on average are doing the same thing when it comes to men? No.
All look, if there's a single woman out there, it's because she has high standards and is rejecting all the men who are approaching her. Plain and simple.
Women can hunt the predator. No, that's not really how it works per se, but unless you talk about the exception to the rule, because the predator is the one that catches the prey, not the other way around. That's just the law of nature. And especially the predator is the apex predator, she won't be able to catch shit. The predator chooses if he wants to catch you or not, right? That's why we say, men, we are the gatekeepers of relationships. We are the gatekeepers of commitment. We choose if we want to stay or not, and they can't stop us. Bam.
That is very much the thing. Like, they as individuals can't. Like a woman being predatory towards a man, she's not the one doing it. Like she is still dependent on other men to get the job done. Like the only way that a woman is going what would they be predatory to a man for? Unless they're a serial killer who basically just like gets close enough to men to poison them or something, then she's not a predator.
I'm gonna address this real quick. Why the fuck am I the potato? I don't really like carbs. I don't really like carbs like that. Unless it's like fries or noodles or pasta or lasagna. But you get what I'm talking about. Okay. Why am I the fucking potato? There's not that many horror stories of meat compared to potatoes, okay? Like I remember I think there was a famine that happened a couple centuries ago. When and I think it was Ireland. They had no choice but to eat nothing but potatoes, but that wasn't enough to sustain them, and a lot of people died. But I'm the one that need the meat, okay? Pause. No homo. Oh my god. But what were you saying? What was,
Yeah, the other thing is that like all a woman has to do to get a man is say yes. And the only way a woman is predatory towards a man is if she is only in the relationship for the sole purpose of like, taking them out. Otherwise, all she's trying to do is okay. Like here would be kind of the analogy. It's like saying a fish is predatory towards a fisherman because it continues eating the worms off the hook without allowing itself to be hooked.
but is that many fish that smart to even do that? Which is very comparable.
It's just the metaphor. It's not
I
it's
don't.
not about whether or not that's appropriate. It's like that's not predatory behavior. Like you are being given the food, you're just exploiting a shitty hunter.
Well, I'm sure there's like I know there's like smart fish out there. I'm just saying it's still comparable to real life.
Yeah.
Uh, but I do see what you're saying, right? Like what men are doing when it comes to trying to, get the mate. It's definitely not, anything too crazy, right? So hey, look at me. Like I'm gonna use Alexander Grace's example. If you guys watch Alexander Grace, I watched him a few years ago actually. Um, he made a video about the boat and the island. Um, Men are the islands, women are the boats. I think that's a very simple but very informative context in the sense of women, they go from island to island until they find an island that they feel that is good enough for them, right? They just like, hey, look, you know, oh, this person has a house and a couple cattle, but this person pretty much has a whole 5, 6 bedroom, pretty much a mansion house on his island, and he has 100 cows and he has a vegetable farm and all this other stuff. She keeps looking until she finds the best possible deal, at least within her area. She would just keep going from island to island until bam, I found the one. Um, so I do see what you're saying, Gray. I would just put it in a different context in the sense of, yeah, men in general, we ain't trying to, oh, like, come over here, girl. I got money. No, like we're like, hey, here's all my accomplishments. Here's all my resources. This is what I do. Blah blah blah. And it's like it's up to her at that point, right? It's like, you can come or you just leave. That's pretty funny.
That's the thing. That's when I look at fishing. Like you can attract with a big juicy worm or a shiny lure. Like all those accomplishments, all the bring, all the social status. That's just a shinier, like better moving lure.
Right. So when it comes to that aspect, gentlemen, when it comes to that aspect, modern women today, when it comes to rose-colored glasses, we did do a comparison between the prey and the predator, but at the end of the day, majority of women are only going for that top 10%, right? I probably didn't use the best analogy for that, but based on that situation, I'm talking about all women, gentlemen. Why do you think even when they were teenagers, they go for Chris Evans, they go for Robert Downey Jr., they go for the Dwayne the Rock Johnson, they go for whatever it is. And I guarantee you, if they met these celebrities in person, if they go to a rave concert, right? Let's say they go on their 18th or 20th birthday, they decide to go be a groupie somewhere, and these celebrities offered, I guarantee you, their boyfriend, their fiance, or their husband will be out of their fucking mind. Like they won't even bother to think about how they will feel if they even cheated. If somebody of that caliber, right? Because once again, gentlemen, that man needs to be at least top 10%. And we can all agree that Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he is 0.0001%. They will not hesitate to jump on his bones. They won't, it doesn't matter if she's a wife, it doesn't matter if she's a fiance or girlfriend. Right? That's just the nature of the game. It's fucked up, but that's life. At least at this moment in today's society, that is life. She will literally do that, and they'll lie in your face when she comes home about nothing happened.
Well, and honestly, I don't think it'd change that much because I'm honestly not convinced that women learn in the same way that men learn. When we say learn, we're talking about how men learn. I think women are conditioned. They're trained.
Wait, where did the learning come from?
It was earlier in the conversation, but it kind of goes to their behavior in general. That like how they are now is different from how they have been. I think no, like they effectively need to be trained and conditioned. And there's actually one example that I heard of one woman, like she was like during I think it was like the Bolshevik Revolution, like one of those like hardcore government induced famines.
Right.
And so family never had bread in the house. There was a fear that if they ran out of bread they would die. Very, very much like a reality for them. And then decades later, after all that's passed, she is still constantly buying loaves of bread. Like stockpiling bread until it goes bad.
Okay. So
Like that's not learning. That's conditioning.
yeah, I agree 1,000,000%. Because once again, I believe in AWOL. I believe 100% in AWOL. If you don't know what that is, gentlemen, just gotta look it up, or I'll tell you later on after the stream. All women are like that. Anyway, so when it comes to that aspect, I say, let's say, okay, for example, chat, I'm letting you know right now, if the same laws in America was applied to around the world, will those very same women that are in the traditional countries will do a 180 and go feminist as well? I believe so. I believe 100% because once again, in those traditional countries or Eastern countries or whatever it is that doesn't really have the Western laws of culture, they've been conditioned, like what Grace said, to actually have values, morals, ethics, and especially the biggest thing, in my opinion, is religion. Religion is a huge factor. No, not that, "Oh, let's just go to church whenever. Let's just go ahead and go here and go there. Okay, you can go to church on your own." No, I'm talking about rel ever since she was 2 or 3 years old, she's been going to church religiously. She's been reading the Bible or Torah or Quran or whatever religion she believes in, like the Hindu book. She's been doing that religiously, right? And on top of that, with a traditional family, do you really believe that the dad is going to let her run amok, being dressed up in booty shorts and low sleeveless shirts, just walking around town? Like, you really think that that's going to be happening in like Indonesia or something like that? Really? Hell no. Hell. In fact, here's another big thing. Unlike the United States, the non-Western countries, right, traditional countries, they actually have consequences to your behavior. It doesn't even have to be the parents too. It can literally be the neighbors. It can literally be the extended family members. It can literally be the law enforcement that you are not abiding by the rules of what society set for them. And if you don't, there is consequences that comes with it. Do you really think that's happening anymore whatsoever in the United States? Hell no. Why do you think they're running amok right now as a pretty much a bunch of Jezebels? Come on. So I do believe in AWOL, but it's always about um, it depends on the location. It depends on how their family are. It depends on how much it depends on if their fathers in their life, right? And on top of that, they were instilled, I mean, beat in their head, not literally, but metaphorically, values, culture, tradition, morals of how a woman should conduct herself within society. And if she doesn't do as such, right? If she goes out in public, do some dumb shit like a lot of women do in the West, there's severe consequences for it. That is not the same in the West. So I do agree with Gray. Definitely a shit ton of conditioning involved. But unfortunately, compared to the West, Western men, we have our hands tied behind our back to the point where men, we have no choice but to stay back. Well, tell me what a Western man can do to make sure that his daughter won't turn out to be a 3 or 4. What can a Western man do right now? Unless you're from the Amish community, there ain't shit you can do. And if you try to do something, she has a shit ton simps, white knights, the state, whoever the fuck it is, that will have her back and say, "Hey, no, you back the fuck off." Yeah, I know she came from your loins, right? I know you gave her life, but she belongs to us now. So I definitely agree with Gray when it comes to conditioning is key when it comes to uh, having good women around. Hopefully, you guys understood my rant because I definitely dropped a good amount of gems. Because I've been around the world. Believe me, gentlemen, I automatically became miserable when I came back to the States. I automatically became miserable when I came back to the States. Because I'm telling you, it's way more different in non-Western countries than it is in the United States. I actually felt like a king over there. And you know what's the fucked up part is? They were just being friendly and feminine and nice. That's it. That's it. You really think you're gonna get it out here when it comes to the United States, unless you won the genetic lottery? You really believe you're gonna have that same treatment? No. If you're not 6 foot fucking 200 inches, right? If you don't have those six pack abs, if you're not making $200,000 a year, if you don't have that 12-inch long, she is either going to ignore you or she's going to treat you like shit. Once again, I'm speaking in general. I'm not speaking, oh, this is the absolute rule. I'm speaking in general terms. AWOL, gentlemen. I truly believe in AWOL. But it always depends on her location, her culture, her family, her religion. All that makes a big factor on how she conducts herself in public, how she conducts herself in society. What do you have to say, Gray?
Well, anyway, they do what they're allowed to do. What they're allowed to do by the people around them, the society with them. And like there's no independence amongst communities anymore that would allow them to regulate one way or another. The authority of the women goes right to the feds.
Agreed. Like, do you agree, Gray, that men in the West have their hands so tied up these days? They literally have no choice but to fucking take it for the most part. When their wife divorces them, or if their daughter decides to join in OnlyFans or do the adult industry, or whatever the fuck she wants to do. Majority of the time, because I know
that those I would say those are equivalents. There is no legal enforcement of a daughter going on OnlyFans.
when it comes, no. Okay, how do I say? Not just legal, but morally and socially.
Now, a
Because,
man's hands aren't tied when it comes to his daughter doing OnlyFans.
well, the best he can do is cut her off. That's it.
Yeah.
In the West, that's the best he can do.
Yeah, which is
He
a
can
heck of a
stop.
lot more than he can do with divorce. So I wouldn't equate the two.
I know, but what I'm saying is, compared to families that actually has a masculine father, hell, I know people that are in their fucking 40s that still respect their parents, especially their father, to the utmost respect. But when it comes to Western families, especially if you have a daughter, there's literally nothing you can do when it comes to your daughter if she decides to be a Jezebel out there in the world, and she has your name, unfortunately. And when it comes to the wife saying, "I'm not happy, I'm taking all your shit."
Okay, no, those are two very different scenarios.
But what I'm saying is, I know that the two different scenarios can have two different solutions, and I don't want to go into details. But when it comes to a lot of men, because once again, 80% of marriages end in divorce. When it
Okay.
comes to a lot of men,
No, Major difference. Like, guess what? Your daughter starts an OnlyFans, you can cut her off. Your wife divorces you, you legally can't. The
Yeah,
cops
that's
are
what I
not
was gonna
going to
say.
arrest
As
you
your
for
daughter,
cutting
you
the.
can cut off. I already said that. I'm just
Yeah, but
saying.
that's why I wouldn't equate them. Like, you don't have to jump straight to hockey
I
mask
never,
time or honor
equated them.
killings.
I'm just saying that your hands are tied behind your back because more likely than not, you can't do shit. You can't.
Okay, now you're throwing around too many generalities, but whatever.
Talking about
Just
being in a
whatever.
force for the family, you can't do shit compared to other places in the world.
Okay, what would you be able to do in other places in the world in those scenarios that
I'm
you
not going
can't
to
do here?
specify.
Because if you're talking honor killings and shit,
I'm not
it's
going to
like
specify, but you know what I'm
don't.
talking.
But okay, yeah. Well, guess what? I disagree, but let's move the fuck on because apparently we can't talk about this. Next.
Well, I don't know why it's something that's to disagree with. What? Well,
I've
just,
made my thing clear. You don't agree with my disagreement. Whatever.
okay. So what is your disagreement then? I'll listen
My
to it.
disagreement is that there's still shit you can do. You don't have to jump right to the extreme that you're not going to talk about.
Okay, so what is it?
I've said cutting them off.
The wife and the daughter?
The daughter. I don't equate the daughter in the OnlyFans to the wife divorce.
I'm talking about the wife right now as well. The
Okay.
wife.
Yeah. You can't do shit with the wife.
Okay.
Yeah. So the man's tied, like, got his hands fucking tied with the wife unless he wants to go to prison. Yes, that I agree with. Equating that to a daughter with OnlyFans, that's where I disagree with it.
And I believe there's a lot more authority in other places in the world. That's pretty much what I was getting at. There's way more authority around the world. Way more authority. The fuck? Guaranteed. Guaranteed. It won't end well if the daughter or the wife try to pull some bullshit like that. The daughter definitely no, but the wife, if she
Yeah,
justifies,
well, guess what? In the West, it can happen too if you're the right skin color.
true, but at the end of the day, the father won't, or pretty much the man of the family won't be facing similar consequences compared to the West if he was in a different part of the world, right? Because like we explained before, fathers or husbands, they don't have authority compared to responsibility. When it comes to responsibility, men still have it 100% in the West, but we have little to no authority. But in other places of the world, we have both, and that's how it should be. Because if I had to be in charge of you, if I had to take care of you, if I had to make sure that the family stays intact and stays safe, stay protected, stay fed, why the fuck don't I have any authority in the first place? And that's the biggest issue we have in the West, unlike the rest of the world.
All right, yeah.
What's up with this Fed shit?
What?
You talking about Trump? Trump got raided?
Here in chat?
Well, damn. But let's go ahead and before we move on to the next topic, right? If you want to support your boy Sir Yeetus, the link is on top of the chat. Cash App. Cash App is the best possible way to donate because the money goes to me directly. But you can also do super chat or super thanks. Any donation is greatly appreciated. But if you can donate, it doesn't matter. Okay, just go ahead and continue listening to our epic conversation. Oh, what's the second one? Okay. So when it comes to the rose-colored glasses, what do you mean when it comes to women, how they view themselves? Do you have anything to say about that before I go on the rant?
I think I already went on my thing with that. With like, men just don't tell them bad news because there's no benefit to it, and so they live in a fantasy world because men permit it. That's all.
Well, how about them seeing themselves as as victims, even though they are pretty much the most privileged in human history, in my opinion.
Do they actually see themselves as victims, or do they just say that in order to get benefits out of it?
Yes and no.
Because keep in mind,
We
women,
fucking
despite all
now.
their, because keep in mind, women, for all their fucking bluster and high and mightiness, have absolute garbage self-esteem. How they say, like the things that they say about themselves and what they actually believe about themselves are not the same.
Well, see, because I made a live stream months ago about the oxymoron, and they are strong and independent victims. I truly believe a good amount of them really believe that they're victims, and then a good amount of them are taking advantage, and then there's also a good amount of them that are pretty much doing both at the same time. Like it's fucking just like what the fuck? Like it's weird. Like that's the best way I can explain it, right? Like they truly, if they believe they say the lie long enough, right, they will believe it. I'm not going to tell you who said that quote. Um, they, in my opinion, not all, but a decent amount of them, they believe that they're victims. A decent amount of them, they know they're not victims because they're going to take advantage of the system anyway. And then pretty much like one third, right? One third, one third, one third. And the last one third is they are doing both at the same time. I really do believe that. That they're at that point where in order to get more of what they want, they have to play the victim role. They have to find some way, somehow, to be the victim, right? That's why I got to the point where women thought that the AC was sexist. I'm sure you guys saw that video. I couldn't believe it either. I couldn't fucking believe it. She she went on the mainstream news, this one Indian woman, and said that the air conditioning at her work is a sexist thing. Yep, it's got to that point. It's got to that point in today's society. They are not worrying about making sure that their family's okay. They're not worrying about making a family. They're not worrying about any type of having a good marriage. They're not even worrying about trying to find a person that's potential for marriage. At this point in this day and age, all they're focusing on is the most redundant, stupidest, frivolous shit.
Hey, but there's a difference
Sorry.
there. Because it they didn't complain about the air conditioning to complain about the air conditioning.
Yeah, they want to use the men, right? Because it's because the men are well, she said some side table shit like women are cold.
No, you're going you're going too complex. She complained about the air conditioning because she got on the fucking news.
I know, but that was her excuse. That's what I was saying. That was her excuse.
Yeah, that's her excuse. But there's a difference between what women say and what women think. Their words are tools to get what they want. If you believe what a woman is saying, you're barking up the wrong tree, man.
Before we continue, somebody has something to say. Why does Gray seem black-pilled? I don't think he is. I don't think he's black-pilled in my opinion, but Gray can let you guys know.
I'm saying what I think. If you guys take it as black-pilled, I guess that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's black-pilled. Like I've talked with plenty of black-pilled people. Yeah, Gray is definitely not black-pilled. Especially after that one night with Island Hermit. You were lost in the sauce, but it was definitely in my opinion, interesting but funny conversation. Bro, you were getting mad heated, bro. I'm like, bro, like I'm just trying to say my fuck your point, fuck black pill, fucking pussies. I'm like, whoa, like shit, like, Gray, relax, like, oh shit, you can't say that did not happen. That was a very interesting situation.
Yeah,
Woo!
wait, what, the saving the bobs thing? Yeah, I got no tolerance for the bobs. I have
You
no
got
desire to
beyond
save them and
heated
no more
for that.
sympathy for them.
You got very heated. I was like, yo, I'm like, let me just say my points for a second. Sir Yeetus, I'm only gonna say it one more time. Like, I mean, what? Like, I'm down. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I remember that day like it's like fucking yesterday. Is he trolling? I'm pretty sure he's trolling. Is he is he drunk? He's probably drunk. He's always drinking all the time. Oh shit. Uh, I know you probably don't see it as funny because black pill ain't really a thing that you joke about because black pill you believe is something that is a excusable crutch that a lot of men use these days.
I
I think
went into a little more detail on specifically why I hate it with Hermit's most recent stream when he covered like TFM saving the bobs. We can get into that on
oh
like a
fuck.
different subject if we don't want to if we don't want to get too far off topic here.
Yeah, one more thing. I forgot to fucking get back with TFM. That was my fault. Okay. I'll definitely get TFM very soon, chat. I'll get him on here so we can actually talk about this stuff. Uh Gray sounds really upset today. Gray, are you upset?
Yeah, I got a lot of shit going on right now.
Do you want to cut things short or what?
Like if I'm spoiling the mood of the stream and making it less fun, then all right.
I don't give a
But if
shit. I think it makes you more honest.
yeah. Look, so long as it's providing good content for you, I'll stick around.
Yeah, great.
So
Like hell, I sounded upset a couple of streams. I think. That was just the sauce talking right when I'm drinking some good shit. But that's besides the point. Um, so we pretty much got to the gist of how they view themselves. Okay, so let's go to the last point. How women view themselves within society. Do you have anything to say about that? Any points?
again, just I do not trust what women say about themselves. 9 times out of 10, it's like lies or cope. They're either lying to other people or they're lying to themselves. Their words are just tools to get what they want. There's no reason for them to be honest. If they're honest, it's only because honesty gives them the most benefit in the moment. It's not because they're just inherently honest.
I completely agree. I agree 1,000,000%, especially with my dealings with women throughout my life. Gentlemen, you'd be surprised how much women lie. You'd be surprised how much women lie so they can benefit from the current situation that they're in. That's why I believe wholeheartedly when I think it was Sandman or it was Coach Greg Adams. Pretty sure it was Sandman. You know, never ever believe what they say, watch what they do. And I take that to heart till this day, right? Even my own female family members, even my own mother. They can talk all that nonsense all they want, but they suck at hiding their actions. So when it comes to that aspect, I don't trust them either whatsoever. Oh, women are this, women are that. Women need to not be sexually objectified. Women need to be treated the same as men. Women, blah, blah, blah. But then you turn around and you see the Rhode Island state senator twerking it up for some votes. And she wasn't even good at it either. And it looked fucking gross. Do you know how much I had to power through that TikTok, gentlemen? Really? They don't want to be sexually objectified, but there's women and one of the highest powers in the land sexually objectifying themselves. Either they're doing that for attention or they want to do it for a price.
Well, that's the thing. They say that's what I'm getting at. They say they don't want to be sexually objectified. But that is only because, well, two reasons. One, a woman who openly sexually objectifies herself has access to less men than one that does not. Number two, it gives her power.
Agreed. And you watch the It's Complicated channel?
No, dude,
No, I got sent you his channel.
Dude, I do not have the time. I'm too busy trying to make
Not
and
now.
produce content to seriously watch this kind of stuff.
Not now. Just whenever you can. Whenever you can.
No, dude, you do not realize how few free hours I have in a day when I'm not doing something.
And I completely understand because I've been in your situation. Believe me, when it comes to not having that many hours. But at the end of the day, gentlemen, I'm sure you watch It's Complicated channel. He boxes so many people, men and women, with a very detailed question. Honestly, to be honest, he sounds very similar to you, Gray. You know, I'm gonna keep it real. But he definitely is a very smart dude. He's the one that had Kevin Samuels and MTR do a special with him. He definitely exposes a lot of contradictions of what women answers and man answers. He doesn't just focus on women. He goes out to men as well. And I'm telling you, it is glorious. And on top of that, it proves what our channels has been saying the entire fucking time. That's why It's Complicated exploded in popularity. I'm telling you, I love that channel. And when it comes to not trusting what women say, his channel is the epitome of not trusting what women say. Do you know how much? And I'm sure you guys already know who I'm talking about. Like, It's Complicated, right? How much women go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with their answers. Just because. Man. Oh, what's up?
Let's think. From my observations, a woman's objective in any sort of social situation, like when they want, that's the average objective. There's exceptions, of course, but generally, they want good feelings. Like whenever a woman encounters a problem, they are trying to make the people involved feel good and pass on the actual solution to someone else.
Okay. You can address this before I do. Silas, thank you for the generous $2 donation. Most societies are controlled by violence and shame. I will get to that in a bit, but that's not the one I'm going for. Address this before I do, because, you know, I might get a little bit mean. Because personally, I don't give two fucks if somebody's a genius on my channel. Like, I don't give a shit, really. But what do you have to say, Gray?
Well, as for that one right there, I don't know, maybe. Never been tested on it.
Where do you even get tested? That's a good question, actually.
I don't know, like maybe there's something online, or there's probably some sort of formal test run by like some sort of like post-secondary institution.
Watch me take one that says, "Oh, you a dumbass." Like, well, damn. But I'm pretty sure I have higher than I have a higher than average IQ myself. I'm pretty sure I do. I can't be guaranteed, gentlemen, because I never took the test. But I don't even know how much the test costs. If the cost is reasonable, I'm willing to take it.
Let's see. I'll look it up.
No, I understand, Buckaroo. I understand. But it's just like my perspective. You can be borderline, not doing as well as the average person, or you can be a genius like Albert Einstein. As long as you're able to hold a great conversation, that's all that matters. But when it comes to the subject,
Yeah. No, there's an IQ global test. Apparently, it takes about 20 minutes, 40 questions, sample size of about 6 million people. So
is it free or
looks like it's free.
it's free? Hmm.
I don't know
can't-
whether it's worth taking or not, but whatever. It's out there if anyone's curious.
If I have time this week, I'll definitely take it, gentlemen. I'll let you know my results. I'm curious actually, and on top of that, see, as much as it's good to be smart, I mean, like a genius, there's tragedy when it comes to it, gentlemen. There's tragedy when it comes to being a genius. Would you agree, Gray?
Well, yeah.
Uh,
Definitely say like
at least
I don't know
related
whether
to,
I don't know whether I can speak from experience, but
oh, true.
like
I know one person. His IQ was 193. And I didn't know him, but he went to the same school as I went to, and he was a 4.6 GPA average, and he struggled very hard to have friends because he just couldn't relate. And on top of that, based on he knew that he was smarter than the average Joe, his ego inflated to like to the roof, and he believes that he knows what he's doing and nobody else know what they're talking about. And he threw away all the scholarships because he had a lot of scholarships thrown at him, and he died at 38 years old from overdose.
curious that you say 193. Like this particular test, like
I'm just guessing.
let's think. Like I'm just looking at the test score here. It says highest attainable score when testing the intelligence level called geniuses is 131 or higher.
Oh well, this
Like,
this
and
guy,
the highest
he
score
definitely
and the highest
was.
that's the thing, and the highest you could get on this test would be 160. So God knows where the hell he got 193 from.
I don't know, but I was told by the story by the principal. Yeah, I'm like, and once again, I don't know if it's true or not. I did not check into it, but I'm sure it's a good analogy or a good story, right? I'm not going to say it's
Yeah. I'd find 139 more
True.
believable, but
well, didn't the how do you say the smartest people in the world, weren't they like over 200 or something like that?
no, I don't think that they're. Honestly, I'd need to see examples. I'm not well versed in IQ scores across humans. I'm just looking at this one test site, and it's saying that the highest thing is like 160 or so, and even then, that's very rare, if not borderline impossible to get.
Okay, so yeah, my
the highest.
out of his ass. Then he was talking out of his ass. Okay, but it's okay. I'm sure. Once again, I don't know if the dude is real or not, but I'm pretty sure there's people out there that were above average when it comes to, IQ levels, and they
Yeah.
had the type of mentality.
Okay, well, here's the thing: like average IQ across all age groups here appears to be around the 100 mark, maybe like 10, like between 100 and 105. That's average IQ. The top IQ in the past week on this test is 149.
Okay, so
So like technically, if you got an IQ of 110, you're above average.
I do not know for sure, but I am definitely down to take. Honestly, I am down to take the test. You know, I'm probably going to regret it and cry myself to sleep. You know, depending on the results.
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
yeah,
I could get it either way because like if I'm higher than average, it's like oh well that explains why I have a hard time like holding deeper conversations with larger people. And if it's lower than that, it's like huh, that explains why I find concepts that some people seem to get quite easily to be rather difficult. So could go either way.
I see what you're saying. Like once again, like I had no issues with, you know, at least when I was growing up, with tests and quizzes and ACT scores. I had no issues with all that. It was just the homework. I just got very fucking annoyed with. I did not want to do homework. Like me, okay. Uh Homework is a waste of time, in my opinion. So it's complete waste of paper, a waste of time. Uh Before I get back on topic, what do you have to say about that, Gray?
Hmm.
Because personally,
Uh,
homework is a waste of time to me.
hmm. Well, honestly, okay, I'm kind of 50-50 on that. It really depends on the intention of the homework. Because like let's say like you want to become a great artist. You can't just go to class and spend class time doing art and then do jack shit outside of class time.
So we talk about high school or college.
I don't really see the difference. If you want to excel in a subject, then you need to go the extra mile and tackle it beyond just the class time that is designated for you.
Yeah, that's a slight difference to me because high school you have to do everything. In college, besides the electives, you know, you have that focus of the main college courses.
That's the thing. Like with high school, they're trying to get you to generalize instead of specialize. So
Yep.
like the amount of homework that they're giving you, like most of which is unnecessary. But let's be honest, the education system as a whole is completely fucked. Homework is the least of the problems in that particular field.
Oh, you speaking logic right now? Uh-oh. I don't want them kicking down my door next. Uh-uh. Oh, hell no. Are you saying that kids shouldn't go to school? No, that's not what I'm saying. You come with me.
Well, I mean, nowadays fucking homework is like poke every hole in your body and write down how each one made you feel, then submit it to the teacher to jerk off to.
Oh god, that's just horrible, horrible situations. It's once again at this point, let's just say hypothetically things doesn't go crazy and nukes doesn't start flying and you know things are normal for the next 20 to 30 years. Let's say I get a kid, right? Uh is either my wife is doing homeschool, um, and I'm definitely going to be monitoring it, or I just may do private school. I might. But the biggest thing I'm looking forward to when it comes to my kids is homeschooling because I truly believe that my kid could have a somewhat normal childhood with homeschool, because a good amount of it's online anyway, right?
Nowadays, yeah.
So I'm sure, even though I really do not want this to take place, but I'm sure that my kid can still make friends through online or whatever place they want to go, or with the neighborhood kids. But I'll be damned if they go to the public schooling. I'll be damned. Fuck that.
And I'm not a huge fan of the argument of the kids need to go to public school to be socialized and learn how to read other kids' faces. They're all sitting in a classroom, facing forward, looking at a teacher from a distance. The only social time that they get is during recess. That's it.
That's like
They are
what now?
not,
30 minutes?
if that. I think nowadays 40 minutes tops. Used to be like an hour and a half.
Bro. I used to get so tired when I got back from the playground.
Well, and that's the thing. It's also hard to exert yourself these days because the schools are so crammed, and most school recreation areas are so small.
That is true, but I remember playing foursquare, kickball, basketball, soccer. I know I'm missing a couple more. I did a couple times what's it called? The skip thing? What's it called? You have to jump on numbers and stuff. I forgot.
Hopscotch.
Hopscotch. Yeah. Thank you for letting me know. And if I don't feel like going outside, guess what? They had checkers, they had chess, they had Chinese checkers, they had Connect Four, all these games that we'd be able to like stimulate our thought process. Like I'm telling you, man. Like I believe I had a great time in elementary school. At least I had a great time.
Actually, favorite elementary school sport was called schlocky. I have no idea who invented it or why, but it's kind of the same principle of air hockey. Like you basically had like kind of a mini rink, like just some plywood with like a 2x4 ring on the outside, and there was a hole cut on either side just the size for a puck. But in the middle, there was a barrier with two holes offset from the center. And you had like hockey sticks without the blades on them. So
Really?
so you place the puck right on the middle of this barrier, tapped your sticks together 3 times, and then you tried to knock the puck through the opponent's goal, but you each had zones, and to get it from one zone to the other, you either had to do kind of a trick hit to knock it over the barrier or take it through one of the holes. It got very intense.
I think the closest thing we could talk about is floor hockey. I think it's floor. We don't have a puck, but it was like a ball. Like if you had to play indoors, pretty sure it's floor hockey. Yeah, yeah. If you had to play indoors, there's this small ball that you have to hit instead of a puck, right? They had the goals on the opposite sides of the gym. Definitely a workout, like especially if you just have a bunch of men, because unfortunately, especially if you're in like high school or whatever it is, you have to share the court with the women, and the women they're just gonna stay out the way because they say that no contact, but believe me, we had a lot of contact. Like it I remember one guy, he had his lip busted, and his lip was like splurting blood. I was like, yeah, oh shit, what the fuck, you know? But he didn't make a big deal. He thought it was hilarious. So with all these games and all these things that we have in high school, I guarantee you, it's definitely the opposite with the schools today. Definitely the opposite,
Yeah.
right?
And
Uh,
no, nowadays, I don't know. I don't exactly hang around elementary schools watching the kids play, but
right.
from just kind of casual observers from being in the local area at the time, I don't know. It just doesn't look the same as it was when I was a kid.
I
Just
don't even see kids.
smaller areas, bigger fences.
I don't even see kids playing outside anymore like that. Like before, at least when I was growing up, you always hear a bunch of kids doing some dumb shit outside. Like now it's
Yeah.
just silence.
Yeah. Part of it's kind of where I am though, not exactly too close to a large number of children. I'll see a bunch of teenagers out and about every now and again.
Aerodynamic. I busted my lip with a frisbee to the face. Damn, how hard did somebody throw a frisbee to your face? I'm talking
It doesn't
about.
have to be that hard. A frisbee just going at a decent throwing speed. If it hits you like between the lip and smashes it off your teeth, like that'll bust it open.
Did you play ultimate frisbee, which is pretty much a mixture of frisbee and football? We have to get to the end zone.
All you gotta do is fuck up catching it once, man. It's not that hard.
Oh, my team won. At least in my high school, like we won.
Like I know, I remember frisbees as a kid. Like they're pretty decent chunk of hard plastic. Like sure, they got like the freaking flimsy ass disc ones now, but if like one of those old school frisbees from the '90s or like late '80s hit you in the face, yeah, that'd bruise and definitely bust your lip open.
I definitely, I good thing that didn't happen to me because I probably pissed off. But Herschel, I like pissed off Gray a lot. Personally, I don't think he's pissed off. And if he does, he's doing a great composure. I doubt anybody will flip out over a simple fucking conversation.
Yeah, no, it's more so like I just really don't have the mental energy to have extensive arguments. So if I sense stuff's going nowhere, I'll just shut it down earlier than usual.
Yeah, which is fine. It's all good. You don't even have to talk about the conversations or the topic or whatever it is. It's all good.
No, it's like that's the thing. I just don't have the mental energy to have extensive arguments about stuff. So my patience is thinner than usual. But
It's all good. Unfortunately, with my experience, I have no choice, so I'm used to that. Doesn't matter how I feel per se, and I may fly off the handle here and there. I have to see to it until the end, right? Then once again, this is my experience only.
yeah,
Um, and
no,
that
that's
and
fine. I'm just
oh,
not going to get into detailed counter arguments. But I got no problem with you ranting.
yeah, and I'm not saying that's healthy whatsoever, gentlemen, right? Because with my experience, you had no choice but to face the fucking bullshit and sort it out. But if you had the chance to just shut it down, hey, it's all good. You don't have to talk about it. See, I really believe that this is another stream that I can have as well. Silence is the ultimate power for a man.
Hmm.
What do you think about that? In a summary,
Honestly, yeah, silence because like a man, like silence is a man hiding his intentions. Much like what do you like if you're going up against an enemy? Who are you more scared of? The guy who's like twitching and hyped and like doing all like the boxer bouncing, maybe shadow boxing to get some moves, or the guy who's just standing there solidly and completely still focused.
I agree. The guy that's not saying anything, I'll definitely focus my attention on him because I don't know what he's going to do. Like,
Yeah. And that's silence for a man. The
right.
alternative would be a guy who, like, just cannot shut up.
If that can translate to relationships as well. I've seen it myself. I have never in my life seen a woman freak out when a man gave her the silent treatment. Holy shit. That was also a red pill moment for me. He just said nothing. And like she was like freaking out and crying and complaining. I'm like, that's it? That's all you need to do to make her conform? What? I was like 19 years old at the time. All that person needed to do is just shut the fuck up. All of a sudden, the woman, she's very nervous. She's very cautious of what her man is going to be doing next.
And I think like this is just something that I can say anecdotally. But like when I meet someone new, find that the more that they open up and talk about themselves or things in their lives, like the more I feel averse to them. There's a certain point is like, why are you saying that? Why are you telling me that? That is not necessary or wise to say.
I see what you're saying. I'm gonna address this right quick before we continue. Depends. 1v1 anger guy can be scary if he's pure berserk, fighting naked, dueling, and on drugs. So berserk that even he doesn't know what his plan is. You're not wrong. Yeah, like that definitely would be a person I'll focus on a lot more, especially if he's running after me with his fucking schlong like going everywhere like that. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, hell no, right? Because we as a civilized society, we taught decency. If I had a dude running to me butt naked with fucking 2 axes trying to hack me, I will be caught off guard. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, who is this guy? And then I'll probably get an axe to the skull. Then bam, dead.
On the other hand, that guy is also very predictable.
What do you mean by that?
Well, let me put it this way. If he's screaming and frothing at the mouth and swinging around 2 axes, it's not likely that he's going to pull out a gun, is it?
That is true.
Like, you know what his strategy is. Get in close and chop you. And I don't think he's going to deviate from that strategy. Like the berserker guy with the axes, that's the kind of guy that you can lead into favorable terrain. Like, for example, a pitfall, some sort of mud trap. I mean, heck, chances are if you're being chased by if you run into a berserker and you run into a heavily wooded area, you could probably get him to break his ankle by stepping into the wrong spot because he's not looking where he's going.
I agree. I definitely agree. Because a raging berserking man, he's not going to be thinking straight.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna address these couple super chats right quick. Thank you for the $2 donation, Hermit. Silence and indifference are a man's superpowers, which I definitely plan on addressing tomorrow. Cause Gray, you said you'll be busy for the rest of the week until like Friday or Saturday, right?
Yeah, I've got some stuff queued up, a couple community posts, but yeah, I'm gonna be offline for a couple days.
All right. And yes, gentlemen, we actually touched grass. Ooh, revelation. Also, I had a donation from No Sympathy. Thank you for the generous donation. And He says, Disney UK sees us as cleanup men. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by Disney UK sees us as a cleanup men? But let me know. To continue, one last show. If you want to support your boy Sir Yeetus, the link on top of the chat, Cash App, is the best possible way to donate because the donations will go directly to me. But you can also super chat or super thanks. If you are unable to donate, it's all good. It's whatever. Just continue watching us talk about some good shit. Any type of donation is appreciated. Any donation. So we pretty much talk about how they view their place in society. I truly believe that it all depends on how they move the goalposts. That's the summary per se. It's and gentlemen, we already explained before. This is female nature. This is female nature. Because once again, gentlemen, when it comes to the Ukraine war, the woman is already busting it wide open on a dating app before your body is cold and buried in the ground. I repeat, she's already doing the dirty over there in Germany or England or whatever it is, while you are already dead and riding away in some random spot in Ukraine. You guys need to understand that. Sorry, I had to block this weird fuck. But you guys need to understand, this is literally how it is. That's literally female nature. They will only go for the best possible option, even when this option is the option that she is not able to choose, right? Or the barbarians are knocking at the gate. And that's literally what happened in Ukraine. Majority of women, especially women with children, they're able to leave without lifting a finger, while men between 18 and 60 are forced, aka forced, to fight and die. They had to pick up a weapon and forced to fight and die. And if they try to leave the country, they would have been shot dead for desertion. You guys need to understand. You guys need to understand the rose-colored glasses for women are definitely way different than rose-colored glasses for men. Because unfortunately, at the end of the day, gentlemen, with her rose-colored glasses, and when you guys want to believe that, oh yeah, she's the one, she's this, she's that, oh my God, she's beautiful, blah, 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 blah. She hasn't even acknowledged your existence. The woman that you're chasing, 9 times out of 10, she didn't even acknowledge your existence. And if she did, she's trying to be polite to reject you. Okay. And once again, I'm not talking about the people that actually go out there and actually spit game and actually able to get the women. No, I'm talking about just average man. Because what's happening in the Western countries, especially the United States, they only interact with men that has that thug life, that has the money, that won the genetic lottery, or they just a trust fund baby. That's it. That's why a lot of women out here, they're completely single and they're completely lonely, they're completely miserable. Because it's not because of nice guys or average men like you guys, right? I'm just saying in general, because I'm sure I have a Chad Tyrone's in my chat. What I'm saying is, when it comes to the nice guys or when it comes to the average guys, she never even bothered to try to acknowledge your existence whatsoever. Never, ever. She wants the best, and that's all she wants. She wants the best and nothing else. And the rose-colored glasses, that is literally the female version, right? We talk about the male version of how a woman doesn't, not woman, how a man doesn't want a woman to change, right? When you meet a woman, you hope that she doesn't change over time, at least not too much. But when it comes to women, her rose colored glasses is hopefully I can find that best possible mate before I can anymore. Before I get the jowls, before I get the crow's feet, before I get that gray hair. It is something that is not spoke about enough because they don't want us to speak about it. We just speaking the truth and nothing more. I guarantee you within the next 10 to 20 years, we will literally have the biggest demographic of single women ever in US history. Because once again, gentlemen, women don't have that much time when it comes to their attractiveness, when it comes to their youth, when it comes to their fertility. Give it 10 to 20 years. To summarize that, just imagine the shaming language that they give you for dating a younger woman, times it by 1,000,000. That's going to happen within 10 to 20 years. What do you have to say about that, Gray?
I think there's the other aspect of it as well. Because what I've seen, there's a very large difference between the image that women project and the image that women believe. Because what they say they think of themselves and what they respond to as correct are very different things. Because, like, if women genuinely thought themselves as high up, I think that they'd react better to the men who treat them as high up. But they know that they're not strong. They know that they're not beautiful. They know that they're not the king's tits. They know that they can't do everything. But they lie about it because the world accepts their lies, promotes their lies, condones their lies. But they know. They know they can't carry heavy shit. They know they can't work on the same level of intensity. They might not admit it publicly. Certainly not going to admit it on the news or social media. They're not going to be openly humble. But they know. You just don't say it in public. That's about all I got. You there, Yeet?
I'm here. So with Brand True Blood, just wait until they start using the social credit score to force men to marry single moms. I guarantee you right now, it's over my dead fucking body before I get to that point. Like, they will literally have to drag my corpse to even get me to the altar.
Well, the thing is, like, they can force the marriage, but they also have to make annulment illegal first.
Which will never happen.
Well, no, but that's the thing. Like, they need to make it so that you can't annul the marriage, because, like, if you divorce within a set period of time, then, like, everything just goes back to zero. I think it's a couple months after the marriage. Like, you don't divorce, you just annul it.
Like, so what about marriage after how did I say? When it comes to marriage, do you see marriage in the future becoming a short-term contract?
No. The government benefits the most from marriage being a lifetime contract of the man to provide to the woman. A short-term contract benefits the man and not the woman or the government.
Agreed. So when it comes to that point, I know you know Gray, but I've talked to the chat. Do you see why more and more men are deciding to not to tie the knot? There's literally no point in it. There's no point. There's no point because all you're doing is marrying to the job of a babysitter. A babysitter that can take all your shit that you worked for all these years just because she wasn't happy.
Heck, you're lucky if it's a babysitter. It's more so you're volunteering to be a caregiver, but you have to pay for everything.
Gross. But I understand what you're saying. But I think we got through a good amount of what we want to talk about. What do you want to say as a conclusion to the warband, or you're good to go?
Yeah, and I kind of went into that with my little monologue on how what women say and what women actually believe are very different things.
Okay. And then when it comes to me, gentlemen, when men and women are different for very good reason, right? Honestly, I don't think it will work whatsoever. Like, look at the animal kingdom and then look at human. If we work the exact same way as the equality says that, oh, men and women are the same no matter what, it will not go well. It will definitely fail. There's a reason why men and women are different. Okay, fuck the 600 genders, fuck all that. When it comes to this situation of men seeing rose colored glasses, I advise men to take that shit off immediately because, especially if you live in the United States, it's over. It's over. Especially with the hard times that are going to be coming through. You really think that she won't jump ship? I'm talking about probability. I ain't talking about possibility. And on top of that, when it comes to men having kids, especially daughters in this day and age, I feel very sorry for you guys because with the laws and with the state or whatever it is that is definitely keep you guys back to make sure that your daughters are doing very good. Like you will literally have to fight tooth and nail to make sure that she grows into a respectable woman. But even then, if you send her to college, that's where you fucked up. Do you know how many girls that I known that was a goody two shoes, but then at the end of the college situation, whether they dropped out or whether they just want to take a break, they became the biggest Jezebels that I've ever known. Gentlemen, if you ever went to college or if you plan on going to college, I'm telling you right now, women in college don't give a fuck.
I think you can make it even simpler. If you intend to send your daughter to post-secondary education, that means you are entrusting her financial security to a career rather than a husband.
Agreed, but that's definitely another topic I want to talk about, which won't take long, probably just like an hour. Women, they want to they want to have a wedding, but not once in the longest time. These women want to be a wife. Not once. All the people that I've seen get married, and the fact that they had to change the marriage vows to appease the women, that's evidence of itself. Because the vows that you say that are quote unquote traditional, that's not traditional. They changed it. So that's something you guys need to think about. And when it comes to the prenup, let's say if you guys want to get married anyway, and you want to draw up a prenup, do you really believe the prenup is going to be working in court? I saw countless videos of judges throwing out the prenups because she was under duress. It's not it's not worth the drama. It's not worth your time. It is not worth the effort. And gentlemen, go ahead, do your own thing. If you meet a cool chick, I'm not saying that you can't holler at her, but as my channel says, as soon as what Grace says, there's consequences to that. So if you just still decide to get married, or you still decide to go have a boo thing, move into your house and all that stuff, you have to live with those consequences. Not me, not Gray, you. And if I know you in person, I'm gonna point and laugh. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Because I warned you. All right, Gray, you good?
I'm good.
This is Sir Yeetus. Thank you very much to anybody that donated. If you still want to donate, once again, Cash App is the best possible way to donate because the money goes directly to me. Hopefully, you guys had a shit ton of fucking gem dropped on you today. And I will definitely continue the videos tomorrow. I am out. Peace.
Peace out, everyone.